Right now at 5, what we're learning about this weekend's officer-involved shooting in McDonald County.
And after a few thunderstorms yesterday and very early this morning, we're clearing out. We're going to be a bit on the breezy side again. We'll look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, a grass fire southwest of Joplin is contained after burning, but 2 acres, but hot spots remain.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Samantha Walker.
Hi, Chris Warner. It is now Tuesday, November the 18th. We're getting closer and closer to Thanksgiving, so hopefully you're ready for that. I mean, we got to get ready for holidays like that.
It's coming so quickly. I am not mentally or physically prepared, like with everything I need to get done, and it's just come so fast.
Yeah, it really it's just upon us, and they hit like that too. I mean, they're so rapid fire, and then all of a sudden it just stops for a few months. But I guess that's so we can breathe and catch up on everything and find out how in debt we are after the holidays as well. But hopefully you're ready. And today, I know it's not feeling like November. It hasn't felt like November since about a week ago when those temperatures dropped on us. It hasn't felt like November since then, and it will not again today. Let's start with the live look from downtown Pittsburgh. We got cloudy skies. We had some showers and storms. I knew I heard something on the window about midnight, and I was like, I'm not sure about it. And then I heard the thunder, and then I realized we had a thunderstorm developed right into Ottawa County and tracked northeast. Actually became severe as it rolled northeast of Springfield, but not in our case. Now, yesterday, too, remember I spent the morning telling you we weren't looking at anything strong or severe. Then we had that one severe thunderstorm warning near Stockton. The level 1 out of 5 risk that was put on there wasn't put on there until about that time because we weren't expecting it. We didn't have the environment for severe weather, but it can occasionally happen. So that's why we want to watch our thunderstorm chances later this week. And we'll talk about all that in a minute. Okay, so we've looked at that long enough. Our camera, 7th and range line, looks good. The roads are actually still wet. I mean, we got a fair amount of rain, at least on the Joplin side of things, back where that storm tracked as it lifted northeast. And on the 32nd and range line, MoDOT camera there, looks good, but damn, look at where we've got some warmer air. We've got still into the upper 60s to near 70 degrees for some of us. But then we have that boundary it's coming in. It's a weak cold front. It's not going to do much, but it has made it a little cooler. We got Yates Center at 59, Sedan, the cool spot at 57 degrees. On to the future track. So skies cloudy now, but as we head through the late morning into the afternoon, those skies will clear. Here goes that boundary pushing on through out there, and we'll have gusty southwest winds for some of us this morning, but they'll shift out of the northwest for everyone later. And then it'll just be remaining out of the northwest. The skies remain clear, but late this evening, we'll start to see clouds gradually increase once again. All right, quick look at that bus stop forecast for you. Kids heading out the door, about the mid-60s, mostly cloudy. By lunch and recess, we should be about the low 70s, and low 70s as they head home. And again, skies gradually clearing for us. We'll have those northwest winds eventually gusting upwards of 25. We're going to go upper 60s by 9, low 70s for our highs, back in the low 60s by 6 o'clock tonight. So again, the clouds will increase. We get cloudy Wednesday, and just like yesterday, most of Wednesday is going to be dry, but then thunderstorm chances begin to increase, and we'll go over those details with you here in just a few more minutes. Samantha?
Chris, thanks. The 1039 fire near Seligman is now fully contained after burning 1,200 acres. Seligman Fire Department and U.S. Forest Service crews controlled the blaze at the Mark Twain National Forest. No structures were threatened, and about 30 firefighters remain on scene to monitor hotspots. Officials expect to have this fire fully out by this afternoon. Another fire southwest of Joplin was contained yesterday, but some hot spots remain. The slow-moving grass fire burned about 2 acres on South Adele. Joplin and Reddings Mill firefighters responded, and no structures were threatened. Officials are reminding the public to use caution with outdoor burning, especially in dry conditions. We're following up on the officer-involved shooting that sent 2 people to the hospital in McDonald County. The incident happened shortly after noon Sunday, just south of Powell on Highway E. Off-duty deputy Mike Hall found an abandoned stolen car on his property and identified himself. Authorities say the man he confronted pulled a gun, leading to an exchange of fire. Deputy Hall was shot in the leg and taken to the hospital. The other man was also hospitalized with multiple gunshot wounds and remains in critical condition. A McCune, Kansas man is sentenced yesterday for the shooting death of his grandson. John Fox pled guilty last month to voluntary manslaughter and criminal discharge of a firearm in the case. The charges were reduced from second-degree murder as part of a plea deal. The victim, 28-year-old Ian Fox, had been shot to death in August of 2023 while visiting relatives in McCune. A judge has sentenced John Fox to a little more than 6 years in prison. A section of South Indiana Avenue near 32nd Street in Joplin is closed due to road instability from sewer project work. Drivers should follow the detour in place until further notice. To be the first to see breaking news and weather and sports, download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. Well, while most children are thinking about what they want for Christmas, one four-state preteen has spent the entire year focused on what she can give. KOAM's Kenny Foreman introduces us to Riley, a girl determined to make a difference alongside the KOAM Toy Box campaign.
It's important to give back, just so everybody has a fun Christmas and it's just a nice Christmas. And it's helping lots of kids that don't have toys.
Meet 11-year-old Riley Carson of Columbus. While Christmas may only come once a year, she's been hard at work over the course of the entire year in an effort to put as many smiles on kids' faces as possible.
She's a bargain hunter, so she likes to find, she'll find a good sale or see something, and she's like, oh, the kids will love this. And so we get it and we put it back and we add it to the stuff that we can bring in later.
Riley's grandfather works at Neptune Auto Care, one of several toy box partners where folks can drop off toys. Feeling inspired, Riley developed the desire to fill the box, which is a reflection of her continuous generosity, according to her mother.
It all originally started when she was younger. We always adopted the angel trees and stuff like that. Well, then she found out about the toy boxes, so she always liked to donate to those. And her goal was to always get those filled up and be able to make sure everyone got something for Christmas.
Riley is on track to donate about 300 toys this holiday season. Why so many? She wants to make sure that there is something for everyone, regardless of age or interests.
I thought the tractors and stuff would be fun for little boys, the play sets and stuff would be fun for everybody, and the dolls would be fun for little girls and everything else.
Kenny Foreman, KOAM News.
If you would like to join Riley in her donation efforts, you can scan this QR code to see where to donate toys. You can also visit KOAMnewsnow.com/toybox to learn more about the KOAM Toy Box campaign. That's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News. FEMA Acting Chief David Richardson resigns amid criticism over his response to the deadly Texas flood in July. Plus, the House is expected to vote today on the Epstein Files Transparency Act with bipartisan support. And warm and windy conditions with some storms on the horizon. Chris has a look at your weekly forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. Topping Nation Watch, FEMA Acting Chief David Richardson resigned from his position this week amid criticism over his response to a Texas flood in July that killed over 130 people. Richardson was selected to lead FEMA on a temporary basis last May. A DHS spokesperson said that FEMA's current chief of staff, Karen Evans, will step into the acting administrator's role beginning in December. Millions in California are bracing for another round of severe weather after weekend storms left a wet and muddy mess. Heavy rain flooded roads and triggered mudslides up and down the state. Dozens in Southern California had to be rescued from rising water. The weather is blamed for at least 6 deaths statewide. Authorities are warning people to stay off the roads, but if they must travel, to be extra careful. Federal agents arrested dozens during Operation Charlotte's Web at job sites and parking lots in Charlotte over the weekend. The raid sparked protests in a city known for welcoming immigrants. Charlotte is the 5th U.S. city targeted. DHS says New Orleans is next. The House is expected to vote today on a measure to force the release of the Epstein files. It comes after President Trump changed course and publicly urged Republicans to support the effort. Bradley Blackburn has more on what could happen next.
I think it'll be a large hotel.
In Washington, the House is expected to vote today on the Epstein Files Transparency Act, and it's expected to have at least the 2/3 majority needed to pass.
I think the public has the right to know.
This isn't about President Trump. I mean, this is about women who are seeking justice and finally getting it.
A bipartisan group was already pushing toward this vote when President Trump Sunday changed his position and said he now supports releasing the files, though he still says the Epstein issue is a hoax.
It's really a Democrat problem. The Democrats were Epstein's friends, all of them. And it's a hoax. The whole thing is a hoax.
Questions about the president's ties with Epstein were renewed last week after the release of emails from the late convicted sex trafficker and one-time Trump friend. The president has said they had a falling out more than a decade ago, and he had no knowledge of Epstein's crimes. If the measure passes, it would go to the Senate, where the majority leader hasn't yet promised to take it up. Monday night, the words "release the files now" were projected onto the Justice Department, and some lawmakers are concerned that the president's push for new investigations into the Epstein case could limit what's released.
They may be trying to use those investigations as a predicate for not releasing the files.
Some survivors of Epstein's abuse are expected to speak outside the Capitol Tuesday morning ahead of the House vote. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
Among the most outspoken Republican lawmakers in favor of releasing the files is Georgia Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene. She says she's received threats since coming out in favor of releasing the files. Well, still to come, Disney releases the first trailer for live-action Moana with Dwayne Johnson reprising his role as Maui. The movie arrives in theaters July 10th next year. Plus, warm and windy conditions with some storms on the horizon. Chris has a look at your Tuesday forecast. A first look at a live-action reimagining of a hit Disney animated. And CBS gives a sneak peek at what to expect from its mid-season lineup. Jared Hill has today's Eye on Entertainment.
Disney's Moana comes to life in this first trailer for the live-action remake. Catherine Legaya stars as the headstrong Moana, and Dwayne Johnson is reprising his role as demigod Maui, who helps the young teen on a journey to save her island and its people. The live-action Moana arrives in theaters July 10th of next year. The new film Rento Family follows a struggling American actor in Tokyo who lands an unusual gig.
We sell emotion. How? We play roles in the clients' lives. Parents, siblings, boyfriends, girlfriends, best friends, and help them connect to what's missing.
Philip, played by Oscar winner Brendan Fraser, starts working with a Japanese rental agency as a stand-in family member for strangers, helping him learn to form genuine connections beyond the performance.
The guy does have a sincere heart, and he doesn't know the voyage of discovery that this screenplay will take him on until he starts working with the clients.
Rental Family, a heartwarming drama comedy, hits theaters this weekend. Here's something to look forward to on CBS and Paramount Plus. Yellowstone spinoff Why Marshals is coming to Sundays starting March 1st. Also new in the mid-season lineup, Padma Lakshmi's new cooking competition, America's Culinary Cup, drama CIA, and true crime series Harlan Coben's Final Twist.
I'm excited to...
Survivor is also back with a milestone 50th season. Everything will be available on CBS and the Paramount Plus app. That's your Eye on Entertainment. Jared Hill, CBS News, New York.
Certainly a lot of great options to watch, no matter what you like. Well, now here's Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Rain last night across the area, a few showers, a few storms out there, and we are going to dry out today. Still breezy for us, though. Got a complete look at your forecast and our upcoming round of thunderstorms when we come back. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. 5:21. I almost said 22. We're not setting our clocks forward by a minute today. It's 5:21 now. On this Tuesday morning, we're going to start our day with the future track. So, of course, yesterday we had some thunderstorms develop, which was what we expected. It did happen. But we had that one that went severe near Stockton by the mid-afternoon. And all morning, we said there was no severe threat. There was no severe threat. In fact, that level 1 out of 5 risk wasn't added until that storm began to intensify. So that just shows that it was was kind of an unexpected situation because the atmosphere didn't seem to support it. Now, I'm going to talk about Thursday in just a moment, but first we got to get through Tuesday. Now, we've got cloudy skies, still some wet roadways from some of those who got storms last night, early this morning. We'll eventually clear out. We got this front passing through, not much to it, not a big temperature drop or anything, but it will shift our winds out of the northwest as we head through the morning into the afternoon. They'll still be breezy, gusting upwards of about 20 to 25 miles an hour. Now, as we go late evening and overnight, as expected, still same from yesterday, clouds will begin to increase as we go into the overnight hours in tomorrow, and we'll have those mostly cloudy skies throughout the day on our Wednesday, but we're expected to remain dry for the majority of Wednesday. That hasn't changed yet. We're still looking after about 9-10 o'clock, a gradual increase in shower and thunderstorm coverage out there. Now, that's what I want to mention as well for going into Thursday. Right now, we have that general thunderstorms area highlighted. It's that light green color you see. So it's not a severe risk, which is what we had highlighted yesterday before that one storm intensified. However, looking at some of the data, there is at least a small chance we could get some stronger storms as we head into Thursday. So we're going to keep a close eye on it. Nothing significant, not like a major severe weather outbreak, but we are getting hints that maybe we could get a couple of strong or low-grade severe storms as we head into our Thursday. So we start early morning. As I said, these storms will begin to increase in coverage. We start to get our day underway. So we're going on the air about 5 a.m. and you can see we'll have thunderstorms out there. So again, we don't have a severe risk area highlighted Thursday, but I'll tell you right now, again, looking at some of the data, it wouldn't be surprising to maybe see part of the region put into like that level 1 out of 5 risk for a couple of stronger storms with this activity. Shower storms scattered throughout the day on our Thursday, and they'll last again throughout the majority of the day, and they will continue into our Friday. Now, by Friday, we're looking more at just shower chances, but we could still get a couple of rumbles of thunder in there. So we'll keep an eye on all of that for you, of course, over the next couple of days. As for today, again, skies gradually clearing, temperatures gradually rising as well, going from the upper 60s to about 70 by 11 a.m. Into the afternoon we go, skies continuing to clear. Now, again, some of you, because our coverage area is pretty big, you'll have those clear skies well before others do. But eventually, all of us going clear, low 70s, and again, those northwest winds gusting upwards of about 25 miles an hour. Winds will ease up late this evening and overnight, becoming calm. Clouds, again, by late evening will gradually begin to increase, and we'll be a little cooler tonight because we won't have any cloud cover in place before sunset, so any warm air we get will be able to escape. That's why it's a little chillier tonight, back into the upper 40s, low 50s. We'll go low 70s Wednesday, and remember, this is for after 10 o'clock. Our rain chances begin to increase. Scattered storms throughout the day Thursday. And we go into Friday, upper 50s, low 60s. Weekend's not looking too bad, and we're still keeping an eye on some rain chances as we roll into next week. And, of course, Thanksgiving just over a week away, so we'll keep an eye on the weather for that. But so far, not looking too bad as we head into the next work week. That's a check of your forecast. Now we're going to send it over to Samantha with Health Watch.
Thanks, Chris. Reducing arsenic in drinking water can lower deaths from cardiovascular disease and cancer. An NYU Lagone's health study found when the levels of arsenic were reduced, people had a 54% lower risk of death. Arsenic is one of the most common chemical pollutants. It's estimated more than 100 million people in the U.S. rely on potentially contaminated water sources. Temperature-related deaths are on the rise in the U.S. Researchers at Mass General Brigham found over the last 25 years, more than 69,000 people have died from heat or cold, with elderly people the most at risk. About a third of the deaths were heat-related and 2/3 were cold-related, though scientists say heat-related deaths are rising due to climate change. People experiencing chronic pain are a high risk for high blood pressure. A study published in the journal Hypertension found patients with chronic widespread pain had a 75% higher risk of developing high blood pressure. Even short-term pain raised the risk of high blood pressure by 10%. Depression caused by pain is believed to be a factor as well. As families prepare for Thanksgiving by traveling and gathering together, health experts are reminding folks about the increased risk of illness during holiday celebrations. Nick Kelly spoke with a Southwest Missouri doctor to get tips on how to stay healthy while spending time with loved ones.
While J.D. Buckridge doesn't usually travel for Thanksgiving, he's ready to welcome family to his home in Clever.
Typically, everyone comes to me and we do the big spread and very traditional and we just have a good time.
His kids will be some of the over 81 million people AAA says will travel for Thanksgiving this year. $73 million by car, and at least $6 million by plane. Mercy Dr. Sammy Hurry says while cold air itself does not cause someone to get sick, there is a correlation with colder months, big gatherings, and enclosed forms of travel.
Even though they may not be sick, they may have a virus that they have on them. They cough, they sneeze, they touch a surface, and then you happen to touch it or breathe in that virus, you could get sick. But yes, so certainly closed areas with high contact of other people, you're at increased risk for sure.
Dr. Hurry says to stick to the basics to reduce your risk of a severe illness or infection. If it's right for you, consider getting vaccinated for the flu, RSV, or COVID-19. Keep up with regular exercise and a healthy diet with nutrients like vitamin C and zinc to maintain a healthy immune system. If flying, consider an N95 mask to prevent breathing in anything nasty. If you still end up getting sick, Dr. Hurry wants people to play it safe.
You got the holidays, you want to be with family members, but especially those high-risk members, you want to try to avoid being around them if you are sick. So that's going to be the very young and the very old who are at increased risk.
As for JD, he's had to deal with a few holidays with health risks.
When COVID season was here and it was strong, we stayed in like a lot of people did, but we did still gather as a family, and we made sure that we were safe.
For now, his Thanksgiving guests are looking good.
Everyone is healthy and safe, and so we're very blessed.
If you're unsure about what steps to take for yourself, from vaccinations to preventative steps to stay healthy, don't be afraid to reach out to your doctor. Christmas is coming. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back. Right now at 5:30, the Neosho School District earns a $5,000 grant for student success.
And we've got a pretty nice day other than the fact it's going to be breezy again. We'll have a look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, the Joplin City Council will hear a new proposal for the future of Memorial Hall.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KYM Morning News. It's 5:31. I'm Samantha Walker.
I'm Chris Warner. It is now Tuesday, November the 18th, and it is a wonderful Tuesday. Got some rain, though, for some folks last night. As I mentioned, the storm chances were very isolated, and they remain that way, but yes. We did get some thunderstorms. I had one. Didn't wake me up, but I heard some of the rain, and I'm like, is that really rain? And then I heard the thunder. I'm like, okay, that's certainly that storm. It's about midnight 30.
Yeah, but a lot of places are needing the rain, so for some it's a welcome, even if you don't want to have to get out an umbrella for the risk of
Oh yeah. You don't want to. You don't want to have to go out in the rain. The kids don't like to play. Well, okay, the kids like to play in the rain. They shouldn't play in the rain, but we do need that rain, and we do have more on the way a little later this week, which we will talk about a little later this morning. But first, we got to get our Tuesday started, and we'll of course do that first with a live look from downtown Pittsburgh, and looking pretty good. We got some wet roadways here and there because again, we had some of those isolated storms refired last night. Again, it was around midnight, going back on the radar near Ottawa County, and then they kind of lifted northeast. So on the Joplin side, again, you can still see very wet roadways. Even though that rain's now been about 4 hours ago that it rained, it's still a bit on the damp side out there. MoDOT camera, 32nd in range line. Again, still wet roadways. No rain falling now, but we still have some wet spots here and there. So what are we looking at in those terms of those temperatures? We have this cold front coming in. It's not a very powerful one, so we're not looking at a drop. In fact, today we might even be a degree or two warmer than yesterday, but you can see where that boundary is right now, and the most it's going to do is clear out our skies and shift our winds. But ahead of it, look at these temperatures. It is almost 70 degrees out ahead of this thing. And then back behind it, got 59 in Yates Center, 55, the cool spot in Sedan. So here we are at noon. Here's that boundary pushing through. Not much change other than, again, ahead of it, you'll have southwest winds gusting upwards to 25. Back behind it, you'll have northwest winds. And as I mentioned, our skies will clear out. We're looking at clear skies heading into the afternoon and evening hours. But by late evening, clouds will start to gradually increase again as we go overnight tonight. As for the bus stop forecast, kids heading out the door about the mid-60s, mostly cloudy, except again for those behind the front. I do want to emphasize that our morning temperatures are going to vary a bit because if you're behind that front, you're going to be a little bit cooler. Not by a lot, but a little. But all of us eventually going here about 72 for lunch and recess, 72 as they head home as these temperatures kind of level out. We're going to go upper 60s by 9, low 70s for our highs today. Clear skies through the evening, back down to the low 60s by 6. And we'll have those northwest winds, again, gusting upwards of about 25 miles an hour. Winds ease up tonight. Clouds increase tonight. We're dry Wednesday most of the day. And then more storms on the way. We'll go over those details with you here in just a few more minutes. Samantha?
Chris, thanks. Compass Academy Network awards the Neosho School District $5,000 for excellence in student development. The organization presented the partner grant yesterday, recognizing the district's dedication to student growth. 28 Neosho students took part in the free 4-week program this past summer. 20 students graduated with perfect attendance and earned Walmart gift cards for school supplies. The grant supports middle school initiatives.
We'd like to be here for years to come and be here each summer with Neosho Public Schools and look to expand the size of our cohort here so that we serve more and more students.
Definitely. It is a very fun program, and it helps people with like confidence and like getting ready for school. It's just a very good program.
Compass Academy Network operates summer programs focusing on decision-making, mathematical reasoning, creative writing, and communication skills across rural sites in Missouri, Kansas, and Oklahoma. Joplin YMCA is opening a public campaign to raise the $2.5 million for the facility facelift. The children's section will be moved from the back of the building to the front, and they will have their own bathrooms to use. New equipment in the weight room, and the west side of the weight room will be full windows to overlook the Tin Cup Trail.
And we've raised a significant amount of money towards the campaign. So we've hit beyond that 70 to 80% right now. And so we've opened it up as a public campaign and hoping that the community comes together to support us so that we can finish what we need.
The construction phase is set to start in January and will last about 7 months. In Oklahoma, a local high school is bringing journalism to a different level. Wyandotte High School's yearbook class have started a new monthly newsletter for the school named Barely News. The students have had an opportunity to take photos at sports games, attend school events, and hone in their skills in journalism.
I feel like it definitely does because before I wouldn't put myself out there to do that, and I wouldn't have had the experience on my own, and so having a teacher to kind of help you and guide you with what to do and kind of be your support is really amazing.
A new newsletter will be published every month featuring interviews with school staff, games, and other fun happenings around the school. Joplin's Memorial Hall is one step closer to a full restoration. The City Council voted to move forward with a memorandum of understanding with the community group, Friends of Memorial Hall, allowing the group to continue developing its plan to restore the 100-year-old landmark. KLM's Blake Goley has the latest on what this means moving forward.
I'm standing outside this 100-year-old venue with deep roots within the Joplin community. And the Friends of Memorial Hall want that legacy to continue, and they're asking the Joplin City Council to back their plan to restore it. Inside the council chambers, the Friends of Memorial Hall laid out a detailed roadmap showing how they believe the building can be saved through a public-private partnership that taps into tax credits and community fundraising.
It's a community asset. It's a community icon. It's one of the things that it's been here, and why tear it down when we can make a new use for it?
Council members questioned the cost and the workload, but supporters rose to the occasion, addressing each concern. They also reminded the council of the building's long-standing ties to the Joplin veteran community.
It was those veterans that wanted to develop a memorial here in Joplin to honor their friends and fellow soldiers that died in the war. And they're actually the ones that raised the money to build Memorial Hall originally. And so it's kind of been our home for about the last 100 years, and we'd love to see it restored and get back to where we can get back into the building.
After answering questions from the council, they voted to move forward with the proposal. Reporting in Joplin, Blake Gully, KOAM News.
Now, yesterday's approval is just one step in what could be a long process to bring the building back to life. For a full breakdown of the group's restoration plan, you can find those details on our website, KOAMNewsNow.com. That's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Coming up, airports nationwide resume normal operations after 10 days of reduced flight schedules. Plus, a record 81.8 million Americans are expected to travel this Thanksgiving, with nearly 90% hitting the road by car. We'll have the latest. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. In Consumer Watch, travelers get relief as the FAA lifts all flight restrictions from the government shutdown. Normal operations resumed at airports nationwide after 10 days of reduced schedules. The FAA kept cuts in place for several extra days to allow airports time to bring their staffing back. The timing helps travelers preparing for Thanksgiving week. However, another potential shutdown looms when temporary funding expires January 30th. This Thanksgiving, a record 81.8 million Americans are expected to travel, with nearly 90% of them hitting the road by car. AAA Kansas advises drivers to check their car's batteries and tires and to plan ahead to avoid peak traffic on Tuesday and Wednesday afternoons. Someone out there is almost $1 billion richer, before taxes, of course, after Friday night's Mega Millions drawing. It's the largest jackpot in Georgia history and the 8th largest in nationwide Mega Millions history. As Dave Malkoff reports, the road to riches is sometimes measured in miles.
Here's an interesting fact about this particular lotto win. Did you know the numbers are actually drawn at this television studio in the heart of Atlanta? But the numbers somehow were picked by a person at a lottery terminal at a grocery store not too far from here. Let me show you how close they are. Driving on these Atlanta streets and highways, the distance is 41 miles between the lotto drawing and the Publix supermarket where the nearly $1 billion ticket was sold. It is the largest jackpot in Georgia history, the 8th largest nationwide in Mega Millions history. And here we are at the grocery store where that winning ticket was sold. It only took me about 45 minutes to do that drive. $980 million. That is a record breaker here in the state of Georgia. But it's also a state where the winner who bought the ticket here doesn't have to identify themselves. Dave Malkoff, CBS News.
Ford Motor is teaming up with Amazon to let dealers sell certified used vehicles on the e-commerce platform. Shoppers can schedule a time to pick up their purchase in person. Ford says the program will debut on Amazon Autos in Los Angeles, Seattle, and Dallas, and other locations will be added over time. Shares of South Korea's Pinkfong company, maker of the viral Baby Shark song, soared in their market debut Tuesday, trading as high as 61,500 won per share, more than 60% above the initial public offering price of 38,000 won. Pinkfong, which popularized Baby Shark through its 2016 YouTube video, now the most watched on the platform, raised 76 billion won, or about $52 million, with the IPO priced at the top of its target range. A recent analysis from the Bank of America Institute shows that a growing share of lower-income Americans are struggling to get by financially as their wages fail to keep up with inflation. It says roughly 29% of lower-income households are living paycheck to paycheck. That's up slightly from the past 2 years. And the Consumer Product Safety Commission announced the recall of certain Trek and Electric branded bicycles and coasters brakes and replacements rear wheels with those brakes. The agency says they can fail to engage, resulting in the rider losing control, posing a crash hazard. To date, no injuries have been reported. That's it for Consumer Watch, and now here's Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Today, we are looking at winds gusting once again. Skies, though, will begin to clear out for us, and then we've got more storm chances as we head into late Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We're going to go over those details with you when the KOAM Morning News returns. Time now is 5:45. We'll be right back.
How much higher could beef prices go? Hear what one industry leader has to say in today's Ag Day Minute.
Clinton Griffiths with today's Ag Day Minute. Tariffs are being cut on some key foods imported into the U.S. President Trump signing an executive order exempting several ag products from tariffs. They include fruit, coffee, and fertilizer. The administration saying President Trump has determined that, quote, certain qualifying agricultural products will no longer be subject to those tariffs, such as certain foods not grown in the United States. And while that may be good news for farmers when it comes to fertilizer, the announcement could open the door for more beef imports, as the move also gets rid of reciprocal tariffs on beef. $10 a pound for ground beef could soon be a reality at the grocery store. Now that's according to the CEO and president of Omaha Steaks. Nate Rempe telling Fox News prices could hit that reality by the third quarter of next year. He says he doesn't see prices coming down until sometime in 2027. However, other market watchers say they don't see the national average price getting that high. And what do you do with those giant pumpkins once the season is over? At Cherry Crest Farm in Ronks, Pennsylvania, they turn their destruction into an event. People come to the farm to watch a giant pumpkin drop after being lifted up high. Now the pumpkin hitting the ground, exploding into pieces, with spectators loving the dramatic and messy display. It's something the farm does every year as a way to say goodbye to fall. For more Ag News, watch Ag Day weekdays on the station and get updates over at agweb.com.
Now let's take it over to Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Why don't we have a giant pumpkin we could drop in here? I think that'd be pretty. I mean, the ceiling's a little higher than what it might seem at home, and I feel like it might be really cool. It'd be really messy, but it'd be really cool to do something like that, I think, anyway. Well, if you are, for any reason, jumping giant pumpkins, today's not a bad day, but you got to be prepared for the wind. We're going to have skies gradually clearing as we head through the morning into the afternoon. So, of course, some of you, as skies clear behind this front, some of you will be sunnier before others are. This front, again, it's not overly powerful, but it will bring our winds and shift them out of the northwest. So ahead of the front through the morning, we'll have gusty winds out of the southwest, and then they'll switch out of the northwest by this afternoon for just about everybody as that front pushes through, and they'll be gusting upwards of about 25 miles an hour. Now, once we again head into the afternoon and evening, we're looking pretty clear, but by about 8 or so, clouds will start to gradually increase as we go overnight towards sunrise tomorrow. And then we'll start to be mostly cloudy. We'll have calm winds tonight and winds lighter tomorrow is the expectation out of the east at about 5 to 10. But we're going to spend our Wednesday mostly cloudy. Now, one thing that hasn't changed from yesterday is 90% of Wednesday is dry. It won't be until after about 10 o'clock Wednesday night that we'll start to see shower thunderstorm chances begin to build in. Now, yesterday, we had that severe thunderstorm near Stockton, and the complex of storms that developed in Ottawa County right around 11:30 midnight and pushed northeast did ultimately become severe off to our east, not in our area. And the thing is like with that storm yesterday, we had no severe risk areas highlighted for yesterday. In fact, the level 1 out of 5 risk that was added about the time that storm went severe. So we kind of caught even the Storm Prediction Center folks off guard because things didn't look like that. So looking down the road into Thursday, there are hints at what the model data says is marginal severe. So that level 1 out of 5 risk. So right now we do not have that risk for Thursday, but I'm going to say it's a possibility. We want to be prepared for some strong to maybe low-grade severe storms. So again, not a severe weather outbreak, nothing too crazy like that, but we could get some stronger storms Thursday, something we want to watch. Boom. Here we go. Wednesday, 10 o'clock, initially fairly isolated, but then shower and thunderstorm chances should begin to increase across the region as we approach midnight and head into early Thursday morning. So by the time we go on the air at 5 with the KOAM Morning News, we should have thunderstorms across the area. And again, some of these might be on the strong side. We'll keep an eye on that for you. They will continue throughout the day. Some of you will get breaks here and there. Others may not get as many breaks. I will have more shower and thunderstorm development continue as we head through the day, overnight, and into our Friday. Now, by Friday, we're looking more at just rain chances, but we could still get an embedded rumble of thunder or two mixed in here and there as well. So again, Thursday's what we want to watch. And like I said, not because we're expecting a major event by any means, but like yesterday, we had that one severe thunderstorm warning. It wasn't a likely scenario, but it ended up happening. So we'll watch Thursday just to be sure and just be prepared. You could get a stronger storm or two out there. So that's about that. For today, though, again, we're cloudy already to start. We will start to clear. Temperatures, some of you a little cooler because you're already behind the front. So since you're behind the front this morning, you're going to start just a wee bit cooler. But eventually, we'll all make it right about 70 by 11 o'clock this morning. As skies continue to clear, we're looking at highs highs into the low to mid 70s. As I mentioned, those northwest winds gusting upwards of 25 miles an hour. Into the evening, clear initially, then clouds will gradually increase. So here's the deal. We're a little colder tonight. And you're like, well, why? We've got mostly cloudy skies. Doesn't that keep us warmer? Ordinarily it does, but we are clear through sunset. And so any of that warm air we get today gets to escape before the clouds settle in. So that's why tonight it's going to be a little chillier, back into the upper 40s and low 50s. Then we have the clouds because of showers and storms building in late Wednesday, so that's why we'll be warmer tomorrow night. Low 70s on Wednesday. Again, late evening storms after 10. Those chances through Thursday. Scattered showers, couple rumbles on thunder on Friday. Back into the upper 50s. Got a pretty good weekend. And so far, Thanksgiving not looking too bad. Let's check your forecast. We're back with more right after this.
Soccer legend Cristiano Ronaldo says next year's World Cup in North America will be his final appearance on the global stage. The 40-year-old Portuguese superstar, now playing in Saudi Arabia, confirms he'll retire from international competition after attempting to win his 6th World Cup. Ronaldo holds 5 Ballon d'Or trophies and has scored over 950 career goals, but the World Cup title has always eluded him. Soccer analysts say a World Cup victory would be the perfect finale for one of the game's all-time greats.
And take a look at this. It's going to be pretty good today. It's going to be breezy, though. Now, we still have some wet roads because some of us got some showers and storms last night, or depending on when you're awake. Early this morning, it was around midnight or so. We'll begin to dry out. Skies will clear. Mid-60s to start. Now, some of you already behind this cold front that's coming through. It's a weak cold front, but you're into the upper 50s, so you may be a few degrees cooler than that. But eventually, as we get more sunshine, temperatures will continue to warm for everyone, and we'll get into the low to mid-70s with northwest winds gusting upwards of about 25 miles an hour, so still breezy. Now we're clear into the evening, but by late evening, clouds slowly but surely begin to increase. We'll go back into the upper 40s, low 50s tonight with those winds becoming calm finally. And then again, mostly cloudy throughout the day Wednesday. 90% of the day is dry. This 60% chance for after 10 p.m. as shower and thunderstorm chances gradually increase late evening Wednesday into the overnight and into our Thursday. Right now, we do not have any strong or severe thunderstorm risk areas highlighted for Thursday, but like yesterday, we're actually seeing some hints we could get some low-grade severe storms like small hail, gusty winds, so we'll keep an eye on that for you. Otherwise, storms throughout the day. Thursday, mid-60s, a few showers Friday, upper 50s, weekend looking pretty good. Let's check your forecast. We're back with another hour of the KOAM Morning News right after this.